When you look at our educational system, just as with every other sector of our national life, the reality, and I've said this way too often, but it bears repetition again, it has been destroyed almost beyond repair. You actually have to reimagine it. And in our educational sector, we would actually have no choice but to reimagine it. We have to ask ourselves exactly what is the purpose of education in the digital age. Exactly where are we preparing our children to go? Are we raising back into antiquity, or are we looking to catch up and bridge the gap that already exists? However much might have been voted to education, if you are still putting, for as long as you keep pouring water into a basket, no matter how much effort you put into your water fetching activity, the basket will not get filled up. We're dealing with a system that is patently unfit for purpose, riddled with corruption, and definitely not serving the future needs of the Nigerian people and the state itself. So first thing first, you need to take a look at our educational system. I'm in the construction industry to an extent, and I've been tangentially there for about the last 25 or so years, where I've serviced the real estate industry. And what I can tell you is this. In all of that time, 90% of the artisan class that works in construction in Lagos, don't let me generalize and say Nigeria, in Lagos, 90%, if not more, of the artisan class, from bricklayer to carpenters to tilers, name plasterers, they are either from Ghana or from Togo or from the Benin Republic. Now, you might wonder, what does this have to do with education? That is part of the problem we have evolved for ourselves as a people. We've trained people who go to university to learn philosophy, to learn IRK, big Bible knowledge, but we don't have the capacity to train those who build nations. We cannot have engineers. It pains me when I look on our street, I see road constructions, I'm seeing third-grade expatriates brought from, as long as the skin is white, he's able to do the job, and yet we have engineers graduating all over the place and we have unemployment. These are the real issues that we would have to deal with. Take another look at our educational system. Why are we graduating illiterates, certificated idiots? I'm sorry to say, pardon my French, but the reality is that we are graduating people who do not have the capacity to deduce logically, and who have been, in fact, what you have had, actually, if the truth be told, is a situation where the state has enabled weaponized ignorance. You are teaching people to be ignorant by the time they graduate, so that you are able to dictate terms to them. Financing of education is not a cost, it's an investment. When governments see it as an investment, it means that they can anchor their vision for the future to whatever they are doing in the educational sector. When I was in school, we had woodwork workshops, there were metalworks workshops. What has happened to all of those? There were technical colleges. What has happened to them? What has happened to them? Cobblestone roads, we can't even build. That is 18th century technology. We cannot. Okay, thank you very much. I stand to be corrected. But the fact remains that we have built a system that is patently unfit for purpose. So whatever else Mr. Peter Gregory Obi might do or not do, we must understand that the cornerstone of whatever he's going to do will be openness, so that the people understand exactly where we are, connect the people to the vision for that policy, because it's not just about education. We have systemic collapse. That's what we are facing.
Okay.